Last week reading was about the different plagues and the firstborn redemption. All of this was a blessing to me. Exodus chapter 12 truly was an eye-opener. It was a blessing to my heart because it brought the Redeemer in my mind. It just blows my mind still today when there is a God. It amazes me. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob thought about me before the foundation of this world. Before I was even thought of, He thought of me. Welcome to Reconcile, the kingdom where we're becoming in harmony of the whole word of truth. My name is PATRICE Robinson. Thank you for joining me on today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, and share this video as a way of you showing your support. We're going to go through the significant events of Exodus chapter 13 through 15. Chapter 13. Yehovah wanted the children of Israel to remember this day, the day that they were freed from the bondage of Egypt, from the Egyptians. This first month of the year is always to remember. This is a month that you will leave and go to the promised land that was swore to your forefathers. This is also where Yehovah talks to Moses about the redemption of the firstborn. Yehovah was careful of leading his people from the land around the Philistines because the people would see war and they would go back to Egypt. They would want to return back there. Chapter 14. Yehovah gave Moses specific instructions on the path that the sons of Israel should take, which will lead near the sea. This path is set up for the Egyptians to see Yehovah power in the sons of Israel. Yehovah demonstrated his salvation by splitting the Red Sea where the children of Israel walked on dry land for their baptism. Yehovah's saving grace saved this people from the Egyptians, and the Bible said that the people began to believe on Yehovah and Moses. Chapter 15. This chapter has two songs in it. It has a song of Moses, which is going to be sung again in the book of Revelation by the saints. And it has the song of Miriam. This also is the first of many of the children of Israel murmurs and complaints. This is the bitter water that eventually turns to sweet water as Moses listened to Yehovah's instructions by throwing the tree in the water. Now pay attention to this. This is where Yehovah makes a covenant with the children of Israel. He makes a covenant with them. So what is our focus today? Our focus is on the covenant. The children of Israel had to obey so far from the instructions prior to leaving Egypt, although there were some complaining because Pharaoh changed their more straws, and so they were not happy. So there were some complaints a little bit about that, but they was obeying so far. They followed the instructions for the Passover and for unleavened bread. Now the people sing Yehovah's salvation, his might, his wisdom, his counsel, and much more. Yehovah is now ready to make a covenant to build his kingdom with the children of Israel, a kingdom of priesthood. It is highly important to understand Yehovah requested this before they knew what the statutes were going to be, what the ordinance was going to be. They would have to obey his voice before they understood what the commandments, the statutes, and anything. They had to know They had to agree before knowing that information. They would have to obey his voice, his commandments, his statutes, and things like that before they knew what it was, to prevent the diseases that was on Egypt to come upon them. This covenant did not void out Abraham's covenant. As you will notice as we continue, the circumcision of the flesh continued. So this adds on to what Abraham's covenant was. As you continue in Exodus, please take your time to read this book, because Exodus has a lot in it. I find myself reading chapters over and over again. And every bit of it is important for the student of the Bible to get a grasp and understand. And it's going to take time. And this is why we are just in the first cycle of the book of Exodus. You're about to read in this Yehovah building his kingdom. This covenant is a blood covenant, and you will learn more as you continue to go farther in the book of Exodus. Next week, Torah Chat Points is from Exodus chapter 16 through 18. As always, man does not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yehovah. I appreciate you coming on today. Now, don't forget to join me on Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m. for Sabbath Day. And I will see you next Tuesday for Torah Chat Points at 7 o'clock p.m. Thank you.